Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have, dare I say it, one of the most requested videos that I've ever had on this channel, and it is of course to talk to you guys and show you all about the Weight Watchers app. So I bang on about the app so much. You guys know I'm a firm lover of the app and it's something that I've been using since June. It's kept me on track and there are so many benefits to it. But it's difficult to know what they are, especially without paying first. It's difficult to know what features it has and everything like that, whether you're going to relate to it, whether you're going to enjoy it, and without being able to see it, that can make it quite difficult as to whether you want to join. So what I thought I would do is completely dissect the app and show you step by step how you would track food, how you would track your weight, how you would search for recipes, and just all the encompassing features that the Weight Watchers app has to offer, and I think it'll be fantastic. So as a lot of you guys know, I'm UK based. I don't know if the app is different in other countries, but this is the UK version of the app and I hope you all enjoy it. Before we get into me showing you the screen of the phone, because what I have done is a voiceover, I'm going to talk to you in depth about every area of the app and show you how to track things and all that jazz. But before I do, I thought I would do a few housekeeping and general things. So the app is the online membership. It comes with the online membership. I am pretty sure that you can also get it if you have the meetings as well, but you will pay more on a monthly basis. I currently pay about £10 to £11 a month for my app and I adore it. It's the best money I've ever spent, and to be quite honest, I think it's totally worth it. At first I thought it was a bit of a splurge. I thought, oh, am I really gonna need to pay £10 a month just to track food and track my weight? But the ease of it and the convenience of it makes it so worth it for me. And of course, I'm not spending anywhere near as much money on junk food, on takeout and that kind of thing. So it was a no-brainer for me, and it's something that I benefit from. I use pretty much most areas of the app, so I really do get my money's worth, and it is something I would definitely recommend. I also have my referral code. Now, I've never shared my referral code before just because it's never really occurred to me, but quite a few people have told me that they've signed up to Weight Watchers because of the fact that they've been inspired by my videos, inspired by my content. So that's so lovely, and people have asked me for my individual referral code and I didn't know that I had one. Realised on the app that I did have one, so now I'm going to link it in the description box and in the comments down below. And if you are going to enter as a new member, then we both get a month free, so it's fantastic. So I'll make sure to pop my referral code down below. I hope you all enjoy it. Don't forget to pop any questions, or if you want anything going over in more detail, comment down below. I'll answer all of my comments on this video because I know how important it is to you guys. So yeah, if you do have any burning questions, pop them in the comments box down below. Make sure to subscribe for more from me. I do a lot of what I eat in a day videos as well, which I think will really benefit you guys, especially if you're on the Weight Watchers journey like myself. So let's turn over to the app. Let's get started. This is what the app will look like on your home screen, and once you click it you will see a number of different settings. So I'm going to start with the weight setting. This is basically where you input your start weight and your goal weight. Now, I don't mind sharing, since we're amongst friends, my start weight was 12 stone 2, and initially my goal weight was 10 stone, and my current weight is 9 stone 9, meaning I'm currently 5 pounds under my goal weight. So I'm just leaving it like that. That's absolutely fine. You'll also notice that you can change your weigh-in day. So you need to weigh yourself once a week and you can change it to whichever day suits you. And again, it's pretty flexible. You can change it as and when. My weigh day has always been a Friday. I think it's nice for my points to start again just before the weekend, because that's when I like to be a little bit more flexible. Then above we have our food settings. So you have your objectives here and all of your allowances. So my objective is healthy habits because I'm just maintaining, but you can check the box above, which is weight loss and healthy habits, and that means that your daily point allowance will be less because you want to lose weight. You'll also notice you have a daily and a weekly allowance. And basically that's your daily point allowance and your weekly points. So your weekly points are daily extras that you can have throughout the days and throughout that 1 week. You can roll them over if you would like. So basically, you know, they're there for you to use when you want to indulge a little bit, or perhaps you want a dessert. They're just really flexible, and it's a great way one night if you're having a takeaway or a night out when you're not quite sure. It's nice to have those points on standby. So they are weekly and everybody gets allocated weekly points. You can switch the rollover to on or off depending on what you prefer and how focused that you are, but I like to have mine on as I like to have that flexibility. You'll also notice that there are other settings that you can customize. For example, are you breastfeeding? Now this would have been taken into account when you set up your daily point allowance, when you input your weight, when you input your height, your activity levels, but again, it's customizable. Say perhaps you fall pregnant during your journey. Your settings, goals, allowances and objectives can be edited at any time. You also then have your activity settings. I'm not gonna lie, this isn't an area I know much about. I don't use it very often, but it's there should you guys want to. You can also choose whether your profile is visible to others, and again, it's just about customizing it to the level that you feel most comfortable with. I have mine set to public, but again, if I was having a bad week or I didn't want to, I could simply change it to private at any time. Once your profile is up and running, it should look similar to this. Again, you can choose to add a picture and that kind of thing. It's completely optional. You can also have a website link in your bio. I have my YouTube channel, of course, but feel free to put anything that's relevant to you and people can follow you. And it's a nice way to connect and to meet others that are in a similar position. So that is my profile. As you can see, I add videos to mine and everything like that, but we'll get into that more later on. So depending on what kind of membership you have, you may have meetings included, you may not, but regardless, you can find a meeting from the app in your local area. You click on the tab, insert your postcode or any postcode, and it will bring up locations that hold a meeting that are in your general location, which I think is super helpful, especially if you want to meet other people in your area that can relate to you. But again, that's basically your profile in a nutshell. You can add pictures, videos, people can comment, and it's just a great space. So that is your profile in a nutshell. But this is the page that you will see the most throughout your Weight Watchers journey, and this is basically your week and day in a nutshell. You can see at the top you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and those are basically all the different days of the week. You also have your weekly allowance, which is what we talked about, your weekly points. In the center you will have your daily points, which is what you need to stick to throughout the day, and on the far side you will have any points that you've consumed throughout the day so far. So that is what the general homepage for you will look like. Do bear in mind, every single person's point allowance is different. It's based on a number of different factors, so don't worry if yours is different to someone else that you know. You will see your profile picture at the top, and that is just a shortcut to get you back to your profile, and underneath that you have the most nifty thing, which is the barcode scanner, which is what you will use to scan barcodes of any foods that you want to eat when you're on the go, when you're tracking throughout the day, and it is so handy. Which brings me on nicely to the next point, which is how to track and search for foods. So you'll notice in this search bar at the top it will say search food, and that is where you can input any brand, any type of food, any vegetable, any meat, and it will search in the list of archives to see if it is available for you on the app. I'll give you a couple of examples. So I'm just going to type in banana. As you can see, banana is 0 points, which means it's a 0-point food that you can have without having to track it. So you can track it if you would like, because you do get little incentives and reward banners if you track fruit and veg, but fruit and veg generally is free and not something that you do need to worry about. I would still recommend tracking everything in the beginning stages, because some things that you might think are free aren't always free on the app. So do check that when you're kind of just starting out. But as you can see, there is loads of brands on there. To be quite honest, I very rarely don't find what I'm looking for. On the app, it has most restaurants, most brands, most ingredients, most spices. It's just great. So that is how you would search for a food. Once you find it, it will take you to its page, and then you can either track it or you can adjust the quantities by clicking on the serving tab, and then you can change it to grams, mils, tablespoons, serving, whatever you would like. When you do find the quantity that you would like it in, you simply scroll down and track the food, and that is basically, it means that the food has been tracked and it'll be deducted from your daily allowance. And you'll see on the side it says daily used 1 point, and that is the mayonnaise tracked, and it's as simple as that. It's really easy and it's a great tool to have. If you decide for any reason you want to take it off, you didn't mean to track it, you can also remove it really easily and delete it, and then you go back to your home page and it will be deducted from the consumed, and your dailies will go back up. And you can pretty much search for any food that you would like, or restaurant for that matter, and it will bring up things from the menu of that restaurant. For example, if you typed in Nando's, it would bring up loads of the popular dishes on Nando's, and if you don't see what you want, you could always click on the see more tab at the bottom and it will bring more options up. So there really is a wealth of things on there, and it's just so fantastic, especially if you're eating on the go and you want to indulge and you want to just have what you want and you don't want to be having to check the calories yourself. Everything is there for you in the archive, and it's just brilliant. From your homepage, you can also access your weight journey, and this is basically a graph that will tell you what your journey is looking like visually so far. So it will have your start weight, it will have your current weight and your goal weight all in a little graph, and it's just easy for you to see in a nutshell what your weight journey is looking like. And you also get little messages, words of encouragement down below when you do something great, which is always lovely to have, especially if, like me, you don't go to the meetings. This is basically the only pat on the back I get, which is fine with me, but it's just a nice little incentive to have. And you can look through them over time, and it's just great to see just how much you've actually lost or what you've done during that time. You can also see it on a table, and you can scroll down right to the beginning of your journey and it will tell you just how much you've lost so far, which is a nicer way of seeing it in actual figures as opposed to a line on a graph. So if you look there, on September, I had only actually lost 1 stone 4, and it just lets you know just how quickly you're progressing, and I think it's great. So that is basically the weight journey tracker graph page, and again, I just think it's super helpful. Click the blue plus sign down below. It will take you to a number of different shortcuts. For example, the quick add. The quick add is so handy, and it's basically where you track things that you already know the point value. So you just can type in something like lunch. For example, you know your lunch was 5 points, just type in lunch, and then you would input the smart value, and then you can just track it and you don't have to do anything else, and that's just super handy on the go if you just know what you've had and you don't want to insert everything separately. It's just a great shortcut, so that is really useful. So you can insert 8 points, and as you can see, 8 dailies have been deducted, and I just think it's really nifty. It's a fantastic one to have. So again, you can click on the little plus sign down below, and it will take you to some other shortcuts that are really useful as well, like your food shortcuts, and this is just where really common favorites are. I use a lot of recipes from the Weight Watchers app, as you guys have seen, and this is where I keep them all the ones I want to try, all the ones I want in a favorites list, so they're easy for me to get to, and I just click on the one that I want and it will come up with all of its ingredients, how many servings it is, and it's just a handy library of all of my favorites in one place in one time. There's also a shortcut for your activities, and this is basically where you would input any working out or any light or heavy exercise that you would do during the day, and obviously this will then equate to more daily points being added to what you can consume throughout the day. I don't think you have to use them. Again, it's not an area that I use that frequently, but it's there and it's a really handy location in the quick tab, so that is something that you guys can use should you choose to. There's also a shortcut for you to track your weight, so if you're someone that weighs yourself daily as opposed to weekly, this is a great way to track your weight on the go, track it very, very quickly without having to go into your settings and everything like that, so that's super handy. But again, it's not something that I use very frequently because I only track my weight once a week. The calculator shortcut is one of the most valuable tools that the Weight Watcher app has to offer, and this is where you have nutritional values but you don't know the points, and it's a really easy space for you to insert the fat, the calories, the carbohydrates, the fiber, the protein. Once you've inserted all of the quantities, it will then formulate a point value, which is fantastic because it means that you don't have to say no to the foods that you want just because they've not been added to the archives yet. You can literally add from the packaging onto the app, and then it is there for you and others to get benefit from, and I think it's a fantastic thing to have, and it's so handy, especially if you eat more sort of not bizarre foods but foods that aren't as common. I guess it's a fantastic thing to have so you're not missing out. It's especially handy for me because I eat a lot of Arabic food as well, so because I cook from scratch, I know exactly what my quantities are, and it's a fantastic way to add ethnic foods onto the app that might not be there, so I love that feature. But again, the app has so many different recipes on there, like thousands and thousands of recipes for you to enjoy, so I'm never stuck for choice, even when it comes to seasonal dishes. Every start of the new season, they will update the menus and they will update things so you can enjoy seasonal recipes. For example, autumn winter, there's a lot of curries, a lot of stews, lots of dals. In the summer months and the spring months, there are much lighter options for you to enjoy, but you can also just search for ones that you want, and you can also customize it. For example, if you want 0 to 5 smart points, you know what you have throughout the day and you want to spread it out, you can search and zero in on ingredients and recipes that contain low
0 to 5 points, and I think it's an amazing way to filter all the stuff you don't need to see and make sure everything is relevant for you. So that is something I really enjoy, and this chicken chickpea stew is amazing. I've had it before and I freaking love it, so that's great. So not only does the app give you inspiration as to what to cook, it also gives you a prep time, recipes, description, method, so it's so easy for you to choose a recipe. You know exactly what you're going to need to make it, all the quantities are there, and it even tells you how many smart points are for each one, which I think is really helpful, how many people it serves, and the method as well. Again, this is something that you will have seen me use a lot throughout my what I eat in a day videos. I use this all of the time. I find it so handy, and again, it's a great way for you to look at a recipe and then go on to customize it. If you want to add a recipe, perhaps you want to change the chicken for fish or tofu, you can absolutely do that, and the little pen at the top means you can edit things. You can edit the serving, you can edit the ingredients, and say I want to add an ingredient that's more point value, it will increase the points of that dish. So it really is customizable, and one that you can really make work for you and your family. Again, I think it adds to the simplicity, it adds to it being flexible. It means that you can customize this to make it work for you. I really love the recipes on there, and again, they're updated all the time depending on what time of year it is and what's popular at the time, and I'm never lacking in inspiration. So I really do love that element of the app. It's just a fantastic thing to have, especially if, like me, you tend to home cook much more frequently. Now, you don't have to spend hours and hours trawling through the apps to find recipes that you would like. You can also search for things that you want to try as well. For example, you want to try to find some kind of curry and you want just the options for curry to come up. Then you would search for it and then scroll down and all of the options will be there. And again, it's such a handy thing. And of course, searching is not just limited to home cooking, but you can also search for restaurants as well. For example, you might want to go to Domino's, or you might want to order in from Domino's. You basically would search for it in the restaurant name tab. So Domino's, and again, all of the menu of the popular items and more will come up in the search. And again, it's just all about being realistic. It's about, if you want a treat, have a treat. It makes it really easy for you for your choices, and I think it's great. And you can also search for restaurants in regards to their point values as well, which I think is great especially if you have a certain amount of points in the day to use and you're perhaps eating out with friends. It's a great way to zero in on your search. And by searching in that way, you know that there are going to be foods on the menu for you to enjoy, and you're not getting to the restaurant and you're kind of just stuck sat there. Probably my most favorite thing on the app is the barcode scanner, and this is basically where you can scan any barcode to reveal the point value. As you can see, a camera will come up and then you would use that box to align the barcode up and it will scan it and it will tell you a point value. If by chance, and this has happened to me before, not often, but it can happen, if by chance it can't find the barcode, you can either insert it manually, and if it's not on the archives at all, because it's not a food that's been tracked before, it's not a popular food, you can then go back to your calculator, as I showed you before, insert the nutritional values from the packaging, and then it will formulate a point value for that food. So it's just giving you all of these tools at your disposal to make sure you can eat what you want and track it properly. I'm now going to move on to the community side of the app, and this is basically a network of people on the Weight Watchers site that are there for you to make friends. You can follow them, you can encourage each other, you can share tips, advice, journeys, and it is such a supportive space. I have to say, it's such a lovely network to be part of. Everyone is so proud of everyone interacts really lovely, and we're all in the same boat, and it's nice to have people that understand, that can encourage, motivate, and it's just such a lovely space. And you can add a little status at the top. You can see a share with us where you can add photographs. There's also online coaches. Now, this is a fantastic benefit to the app. You can go to a chat and you can chat now like you can with most things these days, and you can basically speak one-on-one to an online coach and ask any burning questions that you may have. For example, please explain to me 0 point foods. It comes up pretty much instantly. There is always someone there. And I don't think I've ever had to wait more than 2 to 3 minutes for a response. It's great. And if you don't want to chat, but you do want to get your question answered, there is a help section where a lot of the most frequently asked questions are for you to get all of that information should you want it. So I'm going to move on now to Referral Scheme. I actually do have a referral code. I've never used it or given it to anyone before, but if anyone would like to use it where we both get a month free, that would be great. I'm going to put my link in the bio, so do check it out. But another thing that I love is that Weight Watchers is very conscious of not just the body but also the mind, and you have access to Headspace as well, which is basically a meditation practice which keeps you mentally and physically well, and I just think it's a really lovely thing to have, especially if you're having a stressful day. So all of those are there for you to use and enjoy to make sure that both physically and mentally that you're well. And I think that is a fantastic all-encompassing philosophy from Weight Watchers, that it's not just about what you look like on the outside, it's not just about, you know, the physical side of things, but very much about accepting help in, you know, in the meditation practices as well. All of the support is there for you, whether it's from the community or whether it's from your homepage. You know, what's your why for doing this? All things like that are there, all positive affirmations and just loads of things that you wouldn't necessarily expect to see and find on the Weight Watchers app. You would expect it to just be all about food, all about tracking, all about monitoring, but actually it's all about supporting. It's about creating that network around you so that you can succeed, make friends, and be the healthiest version of yourself that you possibly can, which I think is definitely something worth being a part of. And for me, it's another place for me to share my videos, to share my ideas and my content and my success stories and my good days and bad days. It's just a really lovely space for us all to get together and share and encourage and motivate. So I just adore it, and that is pretty much the whole app in a nutshell. I hope I've covered everything. If not, don't forget to comment down below and let me know, but I feel like that's most things covered.
So as you can see, guys, it's just a treasure trove of features, benefits, and what can I say? I mean, to me personally, it's just been such a fantastic thing to have. And even though I'm at goal, even though I'm not planning on losing any weight, I'm still tracking, and that keeps me on track. Which wasn't a pun, but it absolutely does, so I adore it. Again, as I mentioned before, if you do have any questions, any burning things that I didn't get around to that you would like to know, comment down below. I'll make sure to get those answered for you. Good luck with your journey, guys. I mean, I know a lot of you are pointing like myself, so let us know all how you're doing down below so we can support and encourage and motivate each other, and that would be amazing. So thank you so much for hanging out today. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.